What made my tattoo artist refuse to finish my cover-up? I'd been going to the same tattoo shop for about 7 years and got work done every few months. My artist Derek was always really laid back and liked doing challenging pieces. He'd done my whole sleeve and my back piece and everything. "You're basically my canvas at this point," he'd always joke. But this time, I wanted to cover up my ex's name on my shoulder blade. I sat in his chair that Thursday afternoon and told him I wanted a black mandala over it. Derek nodded and said, "Easy fix. I've done hundreds of these." He got the stencil ready and started setting up his machine. Everything seemed normal at first. He was talking about this new ink he'd gotten and asking about my new job and all that usual shop talk. The buzzing of the machine was almost relaxing. But about 2 weeks later, though, something felt weird during the healing. I was checking it in the mirror and the texture didn't feel right. I could feel raised bumps that spelled out letters when I ran my fingers over it. I went back to the shop that Saturday morning and showed Derek. He looked at it for maybe 10 seconds and then took a step back. His eyebrows went up and he tilted his head to the side, staring at my shoulder blade. "Let me get you in the chair under the light," he said, and his voice was quieter than usual. He put on gloves and ran his fingers over the tattoo once, then again, then a third time. He kept tracing the same spots over and over, and then just stood there shaking his head. The name Nathan was rising through the black mandala in these raised ridges. They weren't scars or keloids, but actual raised ink pushing up through the new tattoo. Derek stepped back from the chair and asked, "Have you ever had any healing problems before?" I told him never. All my other tattoos healed totally flat. The ridges were only where the old name was, maybe half an inch tall for each letter, but they were really obvious, and you could read it through the black ink like Braille. He called over the shop owner, Tony, who'd been tattooing for 35 years. Tony took one look and right away said, "I need to know if you have any allergies or skin conditions." I told him no, I was perfectly healthy. He started asking weird questions about whether the original tattoo was done somewhere sketchy, or if I'd had any reactions when I first got it. The thing was, I got the original at a good place 3 years ago. No problems at all when I got it. My skin had always healed great. These raised ridges made no sense. Derek kept touching it with his gloved fingers and tracing the letters. He said in all his years and thousands of cover-ups, he'd never seen old ink push through new ink like this. The texture felt like hard plastic under the skin, totally different from normal scar tissue. Derek was really confused and said, "Look, I think we should try going deeper with even thicker black." I figured why not? Maybe it just needed more ink. He went deeper this time and really packed the ink in there. The whole shop was watching now. Other artists kept coming over between their clients because everyone wanted to see this weird thing happening with my skin. Someone said maybe it was the type of ink that was used originally, but Derek checked his records and it was the same brand he always used. 2 weeks later, I came back for the checkup. The name had risen through again and was even more obvious this time. The ridges were harder and you could see them better. You could see Nathan clear as day through 2 layers of black ink. Derek just stood there staring at it. "This isn't possible," he kept saying. Then Tony suggested, "Let's try something different. White ink as a barrier first, then black over that." He said it was an old trick for tough cover-ups. We tried that next. Derek put down a solid white layer and let it heal for 3 weeks, then went over it with black again. I was sure this would work, but when I came back a month later, the letters had pushed through all 3 layers. The texture was even weirder now and felt almost like glass under the skin. Derek took photos to send to other artists he knew. Nobody had seen anything like it. A dermatologist friend of Tony's came to look at it. She looked at it for a while and finally said, "The tissue structure is definitely weird, but I can't explain why this is happening." She wanted to do a biopsy, but I said no. At this point, Derek refused to try again. "I don't want to damage your skin anymore without understanding what's happening," he said. He didn't charge me for the last 2 tries. Tony wrote everything down for some tattoo medical journal. 3 different artists had tried to help, but nothing worked. I left that shop knowing I'd have my ex's name on me forever. I started wearing high-neck shirts all the time after that, even in summer. When people at the pool or beach noticed the raised text on my shoulder, I'd just say, "Oh, it's just an old scar." I bought so many shirts that covered my shoulders, my whole wardrobe changed. Sometimes I'd forget about it for a while and then catch myself tracing the letters without even realizing I was doing it.